Senate Democrats cynically blocked school safety funding in Grassley Cruz, and they have repeatedly blocked my legislation to allow schools to access $1.3 billion in federal funds to improve school safety. Had Uvalde gotten a grant to upgrade the school security, they might have made changes that could have stopped this shooter and killed him at the single point of entrance with armed law enforcement there on the ground before he hurt any of these innocent kids and teachers. Ultimately, as we all know, what stops armed bad guys is armed good guys.
Not so much. No, not in this case. Not at all. Actually, no. So let me just tell you real quick that in 2019, after the Santa Fe shooting in a school that killed 10 kids, in 2018, the year after that, in 2019, Greg Abbott signed a piece of legislation, a package of laws in 2019 that included $600 million for school hardening. For school hardening. Now, for those of you who think you need a gun to get hard, that's sad because the governor of Texas put $600 million into hardening. Yes, to reduce the number of school entrances and to add school security guards. The Uvalde Consolidated Independent School District, they have about 4,000 total students. They got almost $70,000 for enhanced security. And to this day, they've spent about 70% of that money to harden their schools. They are lying, and they are lying because they screwed up so bad. And they're very used to, in Texas, under Greg Abbott's rule, the Border Patrol people, the Texas Rangers, which is essentially his police force. You know, the Department of Public Safety, it operates and answers to the governor of the state, which would be Gregory over there. And the president of the Senate is Dan Patrick, the lieutenant governor. These are very powerful men who apparently think they're so powerful that they can cover up the fact that the Texas Department of Public Safety doesn't feel obligated to protect the public's safety. They're very used to it. They're used to lying about Border Patrol. They're used to lying about interrogation of children. They're used to lying about the amount of people that make it into this country. And when the media, when the press, the free press actually goes and asks them for proof of any of the statements that they want to make, that they feel entitled to make in their little propagandized, controlled, closed, secret world, they always turn up to be liars and cheats and real cowards. And none of anything that they say ever turns out to be true. And it's so interesting that they will lie about the death of children over and over again, because they did have Santa Fe just like 4 years ago, and they did put all this money, almost $1 billion, into hardening schools, and it didn't work because the answer isn't hardening schools. The answer is getting guns out of the hands of 18-year-olds to 21-year-olds who tend to be the ones like the Kyle Rittenhouses, like the guy in Buffalo, like this guy, who like to go and shoot up their schools. Also, the guy in Parkland. There's something very weird that goes on with, boys, men in that age bracket and easy access to military-style weapons. Something having to do with the brain not being fully formed on the part of the governor or any of the people that you elect in red states. These people just can't think their way out of problems, so they lie about problems. They lie about solutions to problems. They lie about the problems themselves. They lie about everything and anything in order to keep on, bending a knee toward this new Jesus, which is an AK, a new Jesus, which is an AR, the new Jesus, which is the Daniel Defense military style weapon. This is their new God. You understand? This is the Christian nationalist God. You know what this reminds me of? I don't know if you remember this. Do you remember the Reverend Sung Young Moon? He now owns the Washington Examiner, which right-wing lunatic fringy people always quote. They always send me clips, or articles from that particular paper. You know, Reverend Moon literally melted down the jewelry that was donated to his Unification Church and created a semi-automatic weapon made of gold, much like the Trumpers made a false idol, a golden calf, in the shape of their king, their God, their Jesus, Donald Trump, so they could worship it. And then they dressed it up in, like board shorts. Very weird. You have very weird taste. All right. So let's go back to the Supreme Court for one brief second. Here's what you need to know. Not only is the Supreme Court withholding judgment on whether or not postmarked, duly, acceptable postmarked ballots can be counted in the Republican primary that we just had, which is, 1,000 votes separating two contenders, one picked by the Donald, the other not. And so they don't want to weigh in on whether or not you should be counting those votes. Those votes are now in limbo, like dead babies or something, just flying around in limbo. And the other thing that you need to know about the Supreme Court, besides for the fact that we're going to get two decisions from them that aren't going to sit well with the majority of Americans, I don't believe, in this here month that we just entered into. But also, did you know that in 2005, and this is why it doesn't matter who investigates this, except that we do need to get to the truth about what went wrong in Texas for the benefit of places that aren't Texas? Yeah. So we do need to know what exactly is going on there with that law enforcement agency. We do need to know what exactly is going on there with the cover-up here, with the crime, with 150 police officers, maybe less, maybe more, standing outside the school arresting the parents. Yeah, handcuffing the parents and pepper spraying the parents. And, blocking the parents from rescuing their own children, except for one mom who was able to escape from the police. She was able to escape and ran into the school and got her kid. Yeah. But the other thing you need to know about the Supreme Court is that in 2005, the Supreme Court ruled that the police of the United States, police forces around this country, do not have an obligation to protect you. Did you know that? Now, why is that important? Well, it's important because most people don't even know that the Supreme Court ruled that your local police force doesn't have an obligation to protect you. But after the Department of Justice looks into this dog and pony show, this clown car of law enforcement that is the Department of Public Safety in Texas, okay, and the Uvalde School District Police, nothing will happen. You know why? Because they don't have a duty to protect anybody. There is no duty there. So we just pay them to wear costumes? Don't have time to listen to the live show? Want to hear more on your schedule? Go to randyrhodes.com and buy a stinking podcast.